Hey guys, welcome back. This podcast is called F This, I'm Spoiling It.
I love that name.
Thank you. We are going to talk about our first movie, Captain Marvel. I am here with Andrew
What's up, guys?
and not Sean. He couldn't be with us
He
today.
didn't
Uh,
see the movie anyway, so
yeah,
it kind of works out.
yeah, very good idea by you to do this instead. Because we meant to do this a week ago and just too many game announcements. All right, so first I'll just start off here. What did you think of the movie?
So I've seen it twice, which I tend to do with a lot of Marvel movies. I go see it 2-3 times in the theaters. So it started off. So we'll start out no spoilers, just as what I thought of the movie. I thought the movie was phenomenal. Both times I saw it, I thought the same thing leaving the theater. Like, oh my god, like this was awesome. I know there's a lot of critics out there that aren't saying that, and a lot of it is due to the female being the lead member. You have those people out there, but I thought the movie was great. It started off slow. It was a little confusing at the start. I think you agreed with me on that.
Yeah, I did.
It was a little confusing, and then once she got to Earth, it started picking up and gaining steam, and it just went completely uphill from there. So I really enjoyed it. I'd give it probably like an 8 out of 10.
I definitely agree. I definitely thought it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, so did I.
I didn't have very high expectations for it, but I agree. It started off slow. I do kind of like the way they started it, though, because they didn't jump in with the whole typical, like, every time like we get a Spider-Man reboot, it's like, oh, he loses Uncle Ben again. Like, they've seemed to kind of try to change it up for every hero so it's not the same formula.
Yeah.
I mean, they definitely took. I was looking up the history of Captain Marvel and stuff like that, and like they definitely took some liberties with her story and changed things up a little bit. But I mean, kept them the same. But it even like the twist and stuff like that at the end, it definitely had me paying attention to everything, which I wasn't surprised at.
Yeah.
I also liked Samuel L. Jackson's story in it. He had a much bigger part than I thought he was going to.
Yeah.
Like it was really his co-leading with her. Like, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be more of a politically charged, like women's rights type.
So did I.
And like, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what I was going in thinking because of all the
And it wasn't.
media.
It wasn't at all.
Yeah, it wasn't. Like, it really wasn't.
Like, I mean, you obviously had, the female, I don't want to say like empowerment. Like, I don't know if that's the right word, but you had like the female, like, okay, women can do this. Like, especially, now we're getting into a little bit of a spoiler, but when she's in the intelligence, like
the AI thing.
Yeah, the AI thing that she's in, and she's like, "You're nothing without us. You're just a human woman or whatever." And it shows all the clips of like her when she was a kid, like getting pushed down by like the boys, and her dad telling her she can't drive the go-kart, and she flips over, gets back up, and then like it has all of her like, and then when she was doing the Air Force and fell off the ropes, and then it showed her realizing that she didn't need them. She didn't need the Kree intelligence. She could do it herself. She got back up from getting pushed down by the boys. She got back up from crashing the go-kart. She got back up from when she fell, training with the Air Force. Like, she did it all herself. So she realized how strong she actually was and didn't need, anybody to help her out. She was powerful herself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean that was the only, like, you're right. That's the only time in the movie where it really was like, oh, I guess you could say like female empowerment. But like I went through that whole movie without really thinking of it, and like that's the thing is like, sorry, I'm gonna curse here a little bit, but like I mean if like you go in there and you watch it and you thought like it was too overbearing for female empowerment, like you got a fucking problem because it wasn't. It was just like throughout the whole movie, I was rooting for her. I wanted to see her use her powers and see how badass she could be. And
Yes.
at no point in my mind was I would like, oh well, who's more powerful? Is like the guy, like why is there a woman the most powerful character? I'm like, no, I'm like, she's awesome, she's a badass. I can't wait to see what the hell happens in the next Infinity Endgame. Like, so
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
So watching it, I'm like, okay, like we got another, big. It's like basically the Iron Man of the next phase is the best way I could do it. We got another big like key part of like the Marvel universe now. Like that was a key movie because it showed you everything. Like it showed you her. It introduced you her and Nick Fury. When Nick Fury seems to be a big part of going forward. Which getting back on Nick Fury, I thought they were going to do a Secret Invasion storyline.
Okay.
After Endgame, but after seeing the movie, you can't. It's impossible because they made the Skrulls the good guys almost, and like the Kree was bad. Whereas the Secret Invasion, the Skrulls are bad, and Thoros switches places with Nick Fury and becomes Nick Fury, and they don't know that. So I thought that's what they're going to do because closer to the end of the movie when Nick Fury shakes hands with him, I'm like, okay, he's going to switch now. But it didn't because at the end of the movie you see Captain Marvel floating in space and she looks into the spaceship when she's going, out to find them their new home, and you see him in that spacecraft, so he's not on Earth.
Okay.
So unless they change it going into Endgame, if the Skrulls are a part of that and he does become Nick Fury after that.
Nice.
But I just don't think that's what they're going to do because the Skrulls have never been like the good side.
Yeah. I don't follow the comics too much. I like when I collected them, I was really into the old Amazing Spider-Mans, and like the stories then were just like one-off episodes every comic. It was like, oh, I got to fight the Vulture this time. I've got to fight, somebody else. So I never really got into those giant storylines, but I always thought like, oh, the Skrulls are bad. And with this movie, with that 180 where it was like, no, they're the good guys. They're just trying to run and find their own home. I thought that was great. And I was like, all right, like you kept it the same. I mean, you can still have like fanatical Skrulls who, can be evil and stuff like that, but it explained a lot. Like, and
I mean, it obviously leaves the possibility open. The rumor is that the Skrulls are going to have a big part in not in that Secret Invasion, in Endgame. So I'm curious, like I said, I'm curious to see if that's what they do. I don't think but again, I don't think they can now because, again, the Skrulls are always the bad ones and the Kree were always the good, and they kind of flopped it. So, my question to you is, what did you think of in the beginning of this? They changed the cinematic universe to Stan Lee.
Oh, I love that. That's right. I wanted to bring that up too. That was awesome. I love that, they showed all of his parts.
Yeah.
It's surprising like how many there were. Like, I mean, just how many movies, and like he was in every single one of them.
Now that it made me sad even the second time seeing it. Like I knew it was coming. Like the first time when we went in opening night with you, like none of us obviously knew that was going to happen. And even knowing it the second time, I was still like tearing up. I'm like, man, like I can't believe it.
Was it you that was telling me that they've shot so many cameos with him?
Yeah.
Like they can put him in. That's awesome.
So they can continue his, little cameo appearances going forward. They did that. I think he requested to do that. So even that after when he was gone, he could still do everything.
That's awesome.
And the other cool part was the cameo he had in the movie on the train. He was reading the Mallrats script.
Movie.
And a lot of people don't know this. The Kevin Smith movie, when he was in Mallrats, was what started the whole cameo thing with him. He loved being in there as a little cameo part. So then he was like, "Oh, let me just keep continuing doing cameos." So Marvel started doing cameos with him, and that's how it all started. So it was like a homage to Kevin Smith as well. That's why they did it. So that was pretty. That's pretty
Nice.
cool.
That is awesome. Um, where was I going to go with next thing? Oh, I'm on Reddit right now. I'm looking at like the discussion and stuff like that, and points that people have brought up. Because like Thanos wiped out half of the universe, and like the top one on
Yes.
here is that it's not going to take long to get her up to speed with what's going on in Infinity War,
Yeah.
because there's obviously they were affected too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. But so that when so speaking of Endgame and speaking of what you just said, the end credit scene, um, where they turn around, where's Fury? Like, I wonder if maybe she didn't know before then, because because if she was like, "Oh, where's Fury?" Like, maybe
true.
she thought, like maybe she, like I don't know, like maybe she's confused as to why they have the pager, like because obviously she doesn't know who Captain America and, but I feel like
Yeah.
she would know Captain America because she was alive on Earth. Because Captain America was first,
Yeah.
technically.
Yeah, that's
So
true. You're right.
she should know who Captain America is because he doesn't look any different. He didn't age technically.
Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe because I mean technically she was born like after the war and everything like that. I'm sure she heard stories and stuff like that. But by her
Yeah,
account, he should still be dead.
this is true. Yeah, this is true.
So, but
He's definitely, yeah, because he didn't get thawed out until
yeah,
um,
2012
something like
or
that.
something like that, or yeah,
Because after Iron Man,
yeah. And I had to go back and rewatch the first Captain America because I was getting confused with the Tesseract because
yes,
I thought the Tesseract went down in the ship with Captain America, but it fell out of the ship when it was going down into like the sea below, which is where the scroll was. She found it, I guess, and then used it as an energy source, and then that's how Nick Fury got it.
yes.
So that's the only thing I was confused about and I had to rewatch. But
So I guess we should also talk about everyone's favorite character in Captain Marvel,
that would be Goose.
Goose. um, I said my dad was belly laughing in the theater when they go to the wide shot and you just see Goose eating the everyone and like beating them all up. My dad was belly laughing in the theater, man, and you know like it was funny because the entire time up, you don't know what a flirkin is
Yeah,
technically, if you didn't read the comics and stuff like that. But when the thing scans it and it's like, oh, high threat, and they're like, oh, it's just a cat, and then their scanner scans Nick Fury and it's like human male threat low, and he's like, oh, that thing must be broken, and then
yeah.
he goes and he eats everything.
That's
But they did that perfect. That was the perfect working up to that.
yeah. I love it's kind of funny because like the one time I went to use the bathroom in the movie was when the scrolls revealed themselves as like the I kind of walked back in when they were like revealing themselves as being like the good guys, like they were just running
Yeah,
from the Kree. Um, but like right around that scene, I loved when they were using the computer too, and like they're
yeah,
trying to load it and they're waiting for the computer to load because I mean it's the early '90s and
yeah, yeah.
that one really spoke to me. I love that.
Yeah, that was funny. And the other thing that I wanted to say about the movie is I'm curious to see, like, going forward. Um, I don't know if you knew this, but in the comics, her friend's daughter also takes the mantle of Captain Marvel at some point.
Okay,
So
and
I wonder if she will do that eventually. Um,
Well, my other friend Sean, not the one that's on the podcast with us,
Hmm.
he was saying that character, she becomes her own type of hero too. Um,
Yeah.
I
Well,
was
she technically becomes Captain Marvel,
okay.
and like down the road, but I don't know. They don't have to do that because like Clint's daughter, Hawkeye's daughter, also becomes a superhero.
Oh,
So
okay.
she becomes like another. I forget her name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But it's more. It's like a female version of Hawkeye, and she. So I'm curious to see if they do like. They're all part of the Young Avengers. So I'm
Mhm.
curious to see if they do something like that down the road.
Yeah. I had to look it up. The daughter, Monica Rambeau, right? Rambo,
Yeah. Yep.
and Spectrum is the name of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he
It's basically. It's almost like Captain Marvel. As I say, Captain Marvel. But I think she did. I think she did actually become Captain Marvel. That she might not be
okay.
like that, like who that is. But I'm pretty sure she became Captain Marvel at some point.
Yes, she does. Yes, you are correct. I'm looking at Captain Marvel, Marvel's publication, and yes, Monica Rambeau is a version of Captain Marvel. So you are right. And it's when she's a police lieutenant in New Orleans.
Yes.
hmm I had the wiki pulled up on it, so I needed to look anything up. So, um, but now going future now, or going to like Infinity War, because I mean it set up a lot going
And
forward.
Endgame, you mean?
Or I'm sorry, yeah, Endgame. Yeah, if it were heading for Infinity War, but Endgame, because now we know just from outside of the cinematic universe that Captain America and Iron Man, they both pretty much want out. Like they're
Yes.
done. So they're possibly getting killed off. I heard Thor too, but I don't know if that's true. I didn't see
See
that.
the thing that someone brought up about the trailer that just got released.
Mhm.
So you see the flashback of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
You see the flashback of Captain America, and every single person at some point you hear say whatever it takes. Every single character says it except for Thor and Bruce Banner. So one of the rumors was that everyone was going to get killed. All of your original Avengers were going to get killed off, except for two of them. So Thor and Hulk not saying that. I don't know if that's like technically teasing it or what, but
Mhm. See now, like
it's just interesting that's like that's left out.
yeah. See, that's weird because like we went from half of everybody getting killed off, but we're all like, oh, they're coming back, to
Yeah,
now three are actually going to get killed. Or, I mean, I think what they'll probably do is they'll probably imply that they're killed, but not
yeah,
show it direct. Like so, like Captain America. You think like everybody thinks he's going to be the one to save the day. It's going to be him
yeah,
sacrificing himself, but like I mean, I guess similar to like Iron Man in the first Avengers, where he flies up into that like
yeah.
that rift or whatever, and that was the thing.
Like supposedly what they're going to do is go back in time. The synopsis says they're going to go back in time. So the rumors they're going to go through the Battle of New York, like in the first Avengers again.
Okay.
They're going to go through the Age of Ultron battle. They're going to go through all that, but now Ant-Man and all is going to be in it. So they're going to relive all these battles and fight. And the battle on Xandar,
Yeah.
what the one of the rumors I saw was that they're going to do that battle, and when Thanos destroyed, because Xandar is destroyed right now, so
Mhm.
when Xandar got blown up, they're going to have Captain Marvel come in and steal one of the Infinity Stones that the Nova Corps is holding on to, so Thanos can't get it. So
Okay.
it's going to be something like that. Um, and the other thing I saw was then that way, when Captain America goes back, he can have that last dance with Peggy. And that's how he's going to go out. He's going to go back and
Maybe just
have
stay
that
there.
last dance. Yeah. Which,
Okay.
if he stayed there, that opens the door down the road.
To
They could
somebody.
do the old man Captain America, or they can do where he takes over Shield from Nick Fury.
That would be
Like,
cool.
he could
That would be
still
cool.
be technically in it going forward. They don't have to technically kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see that would be something if they kill off characters, especially
Yeah.
like this is kind of like the end up
Like I don't think
rather.
they're going to kill off Iron Man
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Iron Man I think is too crucial to their whole storyline with Spider Man.
That is true.
So I think he might like have like a heroic like I'm going out,
Hmm.
but then not. That way he can just make cameos.
Yeah, like here and there. Um, no, that's definitely interesting. Uh, how did you like Fury losing his eye?
I thought it was funny. I think it's funny though because they teased it throughout the movie,
Yeah,
and he kept getting hit in the eye with different things, or like he kept
yeah,
getting punched, or I think he even got like a like pistol whipped in the eye or something at some point, and he was like, "No, I'm fine, I'm good," and then the cat gets him, and there goes his eye.
yeah. I like it. Did you ever see is it a Hot Tub Time Machine where the guys
Yes, yeah,
where the guy who lost his arm in the future and they keep
yeah,
waiting for him? That's
yeah.
I love that. That was like perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. Like I said, the movie in general was phenomenal in my opinion. Um, I don't think they could have. I mean, I don't think it could have been any better. I think it was perfect the way it was.
Yeah.
Um,
It
uh,
definitely got me a lot more excited for Endgame, like, which I didn't think was possible. But
yeah,
like, I love the way it filled in the backstory on how Shield was created. Like, how, because like I mean, in the first like Avengers, it's just Nick Fury is the guy. He knows everything. He knows the Tesseract. Like, there's nothing that
yeah,
really surprised him. And this he was surprised. It was like, oh, you're telling me you're an alien from.
yeah.
But that
So not to cut you off,
no, go ahead.
but so we had a couple people write comments in the in the Twitch chat. Um, One guy said Han Solo dies. Oh wait, wrong movie. My bad.
Nice.
Um, I don't even know if he's still here. If you are still here, I didn't see these until now. I forgot to pull it up. Um, then another guy said, in a community that stresses macho male sexual stories as a highlight of all conversation, I was an underdeveloped, immature, fat little dude that never got laid and was constantly razzed. It bothered me probably more so because I don't know if I can finish reading this, but I thought that was going somewhere else. Now that I continue reading it,
It is not.
I'm not gonna finish that.
No,
Um,
yeah,
so
no, like that's the thing. It's like going back to what I said earlier. Like, yeah, if you had a problem with it, like we're all human, we're all people. Like
yeah,
it was just like a good story and stuff like that. And like it never crossed my mind once, other than the fact that like I mean it was in the media and like people were making a stink about it.
yeah,
But like if I would have gone to that movie without hearing any of that, I would have not come across as oh my god like women
yeah,
empowerment. It was just more of a people empowerment and standing up for
yeah.
yourself.
Well, she didn't do it any favors by
True.
making her comment about like the older white guys reviewing her movie weren't as important to her as like a minority female or whatever. So she didn't do herself any favors by saying that. People took it out of context, but
Mhm.
um, that was like a big thing, so that pissed people off. And then I think she said something about like she didn't want like white men at her movie premiere or something like
Yeah,
that.
I remember.
It's
Yeah,
something stupid,
some
but like again, it was taking out of
content.
context. It wasn't technically like that's not really what she said.
Yeah,
So you
no,
know,
we're definitely in a society where it's like they'll take anything out of
yeah,
context and just use it as like clickbait, and it's
like it wasn't even like she didn't say it in like a dry. She was just like she got asked a question,
Mhm.
like there's going to be people that bash this movie just for the fact that they don't agree with like female superheroes or whatever. And she was like, well, I don't take that opinion over others. And it was very out of context. She didn't really say anything, in my opinion, that wrong. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, I'm not like offended by stuff like that, but
Yeah. But yeah,
yeah,
no, I mean it's like anything that she does say though too. I mean it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe and it's getting close to the end and it's every movie's so big right now.
yeah,
And like yeah, it's anything somebody says they want to take it and like ruin it. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I still haven't seen Wonder Woman. I still want to see that and I've heard amazing things about that movie too.
Wonder Woman was extremely good.
Mhm. Well, it's
Um,
surprising because the rest of the DC movies are
yes.
terrible. Like
Mhm.
Superman was, I hated that movie so much.
See, we were talking about this the other the other Saturday or yesterday. We were talking about. I was talking to one of my family members about this, and so James Gunn just got
Yeah.
re-put on for Guardians 3,
Hmm.
but he has to do Suicide Squad 2 first. But
Okay.
Suicide Squad 2, everyone dropped out except for Margot Robbie.
It's going to be, it's going to be,
So like Idris Elba is supposed to be Deadshot,
hmm
um, and uh, I forget who was the other one. There's some other actor, but we were saying they have to reboot that whole universe. Like they just have to cancel everything, do do something new, and like start over. Because even the Flash, Ezra Miller, is
yeah.
that how you say his name?
I don't even know his name. Yeah. So
He's the dude. You know who he is.
yeah, I
But
know he is. Yeah.
regardless, he he almost dropped off of the Flash because they made the movie like very like comical. And he was like, "That's not the Flash, though." He's like, "The Flash isn't like Deadpool." He's like, "I want a darker movie." He's like, "That's what I signed on for. That's what I thought we were gonna get."
Yeah.
And so now he's rewriting the script with the director in hopes that they can get something, similar. Uh,
Okay.
but I don't know that that's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, it right along the same lines like when you brought up James Gunn because he was let go for
Yeah,
his Twitter comments that he made like was it like 8 years ago or something like that.
yeah, there's something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. And like just this is the last thing I'm going to say about it. I just wanted to because it's like a hot button topic, but like at the same time where like I don't want to put down any race or gender or anything like that. Like that's the thing is like I watch a movie like I don't really think of it of like female empowerment or anything like that. But at the same time, I'm like it's almost like sometimes people need to like lighten up and learn to like forgive others.
yeah,
Where like I'm not saying the stuff he said was right or wrong or anything like that, but
yeah.
sometimes it's good to forgive and forget. Um, I mean, it's nothing like he did something that heinous, like some
He
of the
said
people.
something about like rape or like
So yeah, I
like
don't know. Yeah, what his thing was
like
because I'm not
yeah,
going digging in
something.
his past to find out.
And I read it at the time that it came up,
Hmm.
and I was like, like he should have said it, but it wasn't like, oh my god, like this guy,
Yeah.
said like O.J. Simpson was his hero or something
Hmm.
like that. Like he didn't say something
Yeah,
like that. It wasn't like that.
and that's the thing too is like I'm in a more of a privileged spot. I mean, I'm not rich or anything like that, but like I know a lot of people have it harder than me.
Yeah.
I'm blessed to be where I'm at, and I'm not going to put other people down for you know. I may say an inappropriate joke every now and then, but that's about it.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you know me personally, I'd say yeah, some
You say some messed up. Nice. That's the thing. You got to know your target audience
yeah.
and not put stuff out on Twitter that could come back and bite you.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I always thought about it this way. Like, if you ever get famous, like just delete everything and make a new Twitter. like,
Yeah.
like seriously, because people are gonna find out whatever it is. Like, if you know, like, all right, I'm getting famous. Like, I gotta make a new Twitter. Like, I can't. Like, you can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna prove. Like, someone's gonna find something somewhere that completely, trashes, you know,
Someone's, yeah.
someone's life.
Oh yeah, and it's because it's a new world we live in, and it's just like
Because
Just
I'll bet you there's something on my Twitter right now that when I was like 14 with a Twitter that I typed that probably wasn't,
yeah,
you know.
probably. Somebody look it up. Get them kicked off the show. Sorry, we can't keep it.
Pull them off the podcast.
Pull. All 5 of our viewers are going to be pissed.
Oh, dude, they're I can already see it right now, man. They're all in the chat.
Hashtag fire Andrew. I love it.
Hashtag Andrew sucks.
But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about. I mean, I love how they brought back Blockbuster in it. That was good.
Yeah. At Radio Shack.
The Radio Shack. Um, yeah, I mean, that was pretty much, it was pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I'm wondering how the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to continue. Like you said, they could do something with like the younger generation. Uh, I mean, they killed off. You said they're going back in time, but I mean, they killed off Spider-Man, and then his movie's coming out. So I'm
You know,
wondering how they're going to twist it. Sorry, what was that? You say something?
how about like ow, I just hit my elbow. Like you know he's coming back.
Yeah,
And you would figure the Guardians are all going to be back. Because the only one alive right now is Rocket.
yeah,
So they're making a third one. That's confirmed. So they all have to be back. Like, I think Gamora comes back too.
yeah. I would imagine. Yeah, she's got to come.
Because I think, like, if you had Drax not in there, yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But Gamora and Star-Lord are your two probably main guys or main guy and girl in the Guardian.
Yeah. All right. So I'm looking up right now. Their upcoming movies. They have. I mean, other than the ones we have coming out this year, which is Spider-Man and Endgame, we have Black Widow was apparently announced too. So I'm wondering.
Okay.
Uh,
She must survive.
Shit. They got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which, James Gunn now is officially doing again. We have The Eternals, a Black Panther sequel.
I think the Eternals got canned.
Did it?
I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
It says as on the Wikipedia, it says filming will begin August 2019 in Atlanta. But
Okay, so
it could have. But we got Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that just got announced. They just cast somebody for that.
American writer David Callahan was hired to work on it. Hired Destin Daniel Cretton to direct the film.
I think they just hired somebody because that was like a big thing with Captain Marvel. Was she she wanted like this guy to get the part or something, and he did.
Okay, and then we got Doctor Strange sequel.
Mm-hmm.
And Blade.
Okay. So I don't know. You think Blade's going to be a part of?
It says they're working on the script for a Blade film, but I guess it's nothing 100% definite.
What's that guy? What's the Morbius? The Spider-Man villain that's the vampire?
Oh, yeah. Morbius.
He's getting his own movie. So
I'm not familiar with Blade, but he could be from the Blade universe. I'm wondering if that's.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see if maybe that ties into Blade, and that's how Blade and they all get together.
Yeah, and then we have all the X-Men and everything that they got over from like Fox that they just bought.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So you have this last X-Men movie coming out, Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Which is probably the last one. Because a lot of the actors in that don't want to do it anymore anyway. But I'm curious to see if, like, in Endgame, if they were able to get, like maybe you get like a little cameo, maybe like Hugh Jackman walking across the screen at some point, or like something like that, just to tease it. Because Hugh Jackman wants to come back if he's involved with Deadpool.
Okay.
But I know they want to keep Deadpool separate from
Oh, do they? Because see,
Everything else.
Deadpool's the one they could put him anywhere because he breaks that
Yeah,
the fourth wall and just
yeah.
it's
So, but so Deadpool wants to be. They have to keep that separate because they're keeping it rated R. They don't want to merge them.
okay.
So, the other thing with the Fantastic Four, supposedly we're getting a Silver Surfer solo movie too.
Hmm.
So I'm curious to see if they put him in Endgame.
Yeah. Well, we
Because how
also
did Tony Stark get back to Earth? Who rescued Tony Stark?
yeah. Well, we also have Adam Warlock. We haven't heard anything about since Guardians
Yes.
2. So I'm wondering what
Yeah,
he's
but
going
I
to do.
feel like if Adam Warlock was going to show up, that he would have did it already.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Nate at our work, and I'm not familiar with Adam Warlock, but like he was saying Adam Warlock and like Silver Surfer are like the two people who like one of the like two of three people that could like really reverse what Thor did.
Well,
So
Adam Warlock in the comics was able to wield the Infinity Gauntlet, and that's how they beat Thanos. Was
okay.
he was able to put it on. Um, but since they didn't show Adam Warlock yet, I think that's going to be Captain Marvel. I think she's going to be the one that puts it on.
That could be. I mean, they could be just saving him for Guardians 3 too, because I mean they introduced him in that.
Yeah.
So
Well, because Adam Warlock is like a good guy, but he's a bad guy. He like fights with himself. Like he doesn't know because
oh,
he's artificially created. So like he doesn't know like what way to go. So like he's kind of a bad guy, but kind of a good guy.
I got you.
And when he has his good side, like that's when he helped out the Avengers. But then he has his bad side, and that's when he goes against everybody.
It's interesting.
Just he's a weird character. But I think they're gonna do. I think it's gonna be Captain Marvel that wields the gauntlet.
Yeah. Yeah, like I mean, I would love to see like Hugh Jackman, like a Wolverine in there, but like I think if anything, Disney's just gonna like reboot that entire thing and just
Oh, probably.
recast everybody. Like I would
Which
love to see somebody come on and be Wolverine or
I
something.
saw John Krasinski, aka Jim from The Office,
Yeah.
and his wife Emily Blunt. I saw them in a mock-up of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman,
Oh, nice.
and they looked awesome.
Yeah, I imagine they
Like
would look
in
the part.
costume, like, and supposedly John Krasinski wants it, like he wants to be Mr. Fantastic. So it'd be interesting. They got to make it perfect though, because this is the third time now that they're doing the Fantastic Four.
No, I didn't follow all of the X-Men movies. Like I watched like the first three of them, and then when they started
Like
doing
the
like the
original.
yeah, and then when they went like back in time, like Days of Future Past and all that stuff, they kind of lost me on that. Like they actually lost me when like the first or second Wolverine movie,
Yeah.
the one with Will I Am in it, that they
Mm-hmm.
sewed Deadpool's mouth shut. I was like, I'm not interested. But I'm wondering if Marvel, because I mean they're playing with time travel. Well, they may be with Endgame now and beating Thanos. So I'm wondering if them going back in time, maybe they'll introduce X-Men that way
Yeah.
and that whole thing. Because I mean, X-Men and like Spider-Man have had a lot of crossovers in the comics, just from the old ones. And I'd be interested to see that
Yeah.
and like the Fantastic Four crossovers and all that good stuff. Uh, but I mean, that's all I can really think of right now. I mean, you got anything else?
No, I mean, just if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. Definitely before Endgame.
Mhm.
Um, it's a very good movie. Um, if you don't like it, then that's you. You personally don't have to like it. But the only thing I'll say is, if you don't like it, don't force your opinion that you don't like it on other people. People are allowed to enjoy the film.
Yeah,
People like me and Jim obviously very much enjoyed it, and I know a lot of our friends also enjoyed it.
yeah,
Um, but just because you don't like it or you don't think female superheroes should be a main spotlight doesn't mean you have to force that opinion on someone else. I'm perfectly okay with female superheroes. Wonder Woman's awesome. Captain Marvel's awesome. Um, just the two that we've had movies of. But uh, I don't feel any certain way that they shouldn't be able to have a place in the universes. I thought the movie was fantastic.
Yeah, I did too. Like I said, it exceeded my expectations, and I thought I was going in there and seeing a politically charged like female empowerment thing, and
Yeah,
no, it was just a good movie. It was just human empowering. It was just fighting,
yeah,
fighting for yourself. And even if it was female empowerment, I mean, that really shouldn't dissuade you from seeing a movie just because if you're a man.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was a very good movie. I definitely recommend seeing it. And I said it's got me more excited for Endgame now.
100%.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to end the podcast with that. We'll probably stay around a little bit for the post show, talk about maybe some games, what we're doing this week, everything else. And I'll see you
Yeah.
guys in the Twitch. I see them already. I already hear the Xbox starting up.
Yeah.